it's going to be like, great, now we're going to get more people coming here.
Speaking of good lakes, there's a lake, I don't know if Jay's been there, you might know, but Tasca County Big Dick Lake.
Jingles are a lot.
That's what I thought. I figured it's one of his favorite lakes.
He tunes right in. All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Blindcast. And today we got Luke Hentges from Northwoods Angling and Fish on Luke. And we also got Jay Johnson from Jay Fishes. And we got Scott from Carver. Actually, Scott Goodman from, he's a pro staffer for Stone Custom Baits and field staffer for Old Carver Fishing. And I'm Chewy Godinez Jr. And I am part owner of Old Carver Fishing and owner of Stoke Custom Baits. And this is Blindcast. How's it going, guys?
Awesome.
Good. What's up, guys?
Yeah, Luke went out in the water today.
A little bit.
How did it go?
Yeah.
Awesome. No, it wasn't that awesome. I just filmed the whole time.
You didn't fish? Didn't get to fish at all?
I fished for 10 minutes.
He was back right away.
He was having too much fun with his GoPro.
Yeah, he was.
And his new boat.
Yep.
How are you liking that thing?
It's awesome.
It's an awesome boat, dude.
It's everything I wanted.
Since I saw his boat now I'm like, I didn't want to tell him nothing, but now I'm considering maybe I should get a boat like that. A full steel bass boat.
I'm telling you, that boat is badass.
It's practically a bass boat.
You can do everything in that thing, and you can go anywhere in that fucker. Anywhere. Absolutely. How shallow can you go?
No Great Lakes, that's depth those.
No.
4 inches.
Yeah.
That's.
See, my brother gets a walleye boat and my dad gets a walleye boat. I call them walleye boats. But yeah. And the only thing I don't like about it is that when we fished the bass tournament, for me to land the fish was very hard. And then I busted the net. I stepped on the net.
They're not low.
Busted it. They're not low enough for me, and I don't want to.
Bass boats are low, whereas GVs are higher up, and that's.
Yeah. And you can't fit the fish.
His isn't that bad, though.
No.
Oh, no, it's a flat
bottom. Yours is like perfect.
It's some obby, but acts like a flat bottom.
But it's so wide, dude.
It's nice.
8 people can fit in there.
We were out there the other night, lawn chairs, like midnight.
You got your first surgeon, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you, man.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
Yeah, it looked awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't hesitate on that bite at all.
You can't miss them. I was telling them, like, it's such a light bite.
I seen it.
How big a fish they are. They don't bite more than a bluegill.
Really?
Crazy.
I seen it. I seen that little nibble, and I was like on it. Like,
I've never caught one.
I haven't either.
Shovel surgeon.
we weren't even out.
I caught some decent size one. I caught one over that was a little over 4 feet under the 41 bridge before they did that construction on it.
Yeah.
And I remember even the DNR guy, he must have been watching us, but he showed up, and even he didn't hurry me up to get it back in the water. He was just like, yeah, it's a nice fish. You want to take a picture. You take a picture on an old Nokia phone, so you can't. I mean, you can see me holding from the shovel, holding it up, because I never caught one first. I didn't know how to hold it, so I just held it up from the shovel. You just see like half my face, and you just see the outline of the shovel, because I had it backwards. So you just see the puddle, and the puddle on the spear. But yeah. But that was a fight, because that one took me like 20 some minutes to land, and it jumped out of the water, and that's because at first I thought it was a cat, and then when it jumped out of the water, we were like, whoa, what the hell is that? And then when we landed it, we were just all staring at it. Is that a shark?
They look like aliens if you've never seen one.
And then when we touched it, and it's it's really, the top of it is
pictures.
really, really hard.
They're descendants of sharks.
Are they?
They are, 100%.
That's awesome.
No, then when I picked it up, it flipped its tail and slapped me. And I was like, whoa, what the hell? Yeah, it took us a while.
For a matter of fact, I think I caught the first one at Luke's boat.
You did.
In his new boat.
Yep.
A shovel?
No, it was lake sturgeon. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I put the first one in his new boat.
Yeah, dude.
You gotta get out.
Slimed it up, too. That thing was flopping.
Once I get the one going.
So, about Northwoods Angling, how long have you been doing that? How long has that channel been around?
He's
Started 6 years.
6 years ago.
been around a while.
Yeah. And it's who else is with you in that channel? Who else?
Started with just me and Jacob.
Okay.
Jacob is the professional videographer. That's his job in
Oh,
real
okay.
life.
Wow.
That's awesome.
We started that, and then Peter came on board, and Blake came on board. Blake's not really doing a whole lot lately. He's got a big family now, and
Okay.
he's more busy with his family. But me, Jacob, and Peter are the primary people now, and
Yeah.
6 years. Yeah.
Nice.
And then Fish on Luke.
Yeah, 2 weeks old.
2 weeks old.
Started my new own channel
There you
for
go.
myself. So
I need to check that out. I haven't yet.
there's
Sorry.
not a whole lot there yet.
Yeah. And
Wow.
They can find you on YouTube already, right?
Yeah, if you search Fish on Luke or Northwoods Angling, they'll both pop up. So
Yeah. Make sure you subscribe.
This new video's pretty lit too, man. It's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
that's an old one. Filmed it 4 years ago.
It's
Almost.
it's a pretty good one though.
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
It's pretty good. Check it out.
Ever since the TV, you couldn't fix the TV in the shop. I can't see anything.
Not a very good friend, Drew.
Yeah, I know. I tell you, these guys do this all the time. I played the Northwood Tank videos with you, and then Jay, and then I forgot what was that one called? Keep forgetting.
No,
Oh, this is another one. Yeah. Forget the name. But yeah, and then Jay, you've been doing YouTube videos for
Almost-
2 years,
Almost 4
3
years.
years, 4 years.
3 years, 4 years.
Really?
Yeah.
It's been that long.
Yeah.
So then this past year is when you really blew up.
Yeah, man. This past year is like I've been grinding, man. Like I was very, very fortunate enough to be able to fish almost all fucking summer this year, and with all the tournaments, and I've gained a lot of contacts this year.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the grind pays for itself, and people recognize that.
Yeah.
That's true.
And I don't think a lot of people know how hard it is to put up those videos.
They
It
don't.
is.
They don't. It's a lot of work.
Difficult.
It's just as hard as a podcast.
Yeah.
No,
No, it's harder.
I
feel like.
got 21 videos on deck right now.
Jesus.
We're ready to be filmed or edited.
I have one.
But it's very difficult because now I got 21 videos. I gotta find time to edit those, but then I also gotta find time to stay relevant. You know, by fishing, you can't just fall back because you got to say I got this much content. You still have to keep
You
going.
gotta keep putting more out.
Yeah. Whether it's just pictures or just short clips on Facebook, you still got to put content out. So it's hard to find that balance.
And then, Luke, what's been the biggest or the most memorable fish that you've caught?
I think probably my big blue cat.
Oh, that's not
That was 3 or 4 years ago now.
And that was just down here in the Carver River, right?
Right below the bait shop. Yep.
Yeah, below the beach.
That was
Nice.
in just north of Kansas City.
We're gonna get out there.
I know a guy that used to do a lot of catfishing out that way, and I'm sure he could tell us where to go. And he would go a lot below like the dams, and he was like catching big drums and
Really?
big blues, just a lot of
How
different.
much did that one weigh?
118 pounds.
That's
Jesus
insane.
Christ,
That's
dude.
slob.
How long did that take you to
That's
land?
Probably took 15 minutes, maybe a little less than 15 minutes.
Really?
We floated 2 miles with that fish. I had to pull anchor. It was spooling me. I couldn't
Oh,
stop
I'm
it.
sure.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you got to
Just
remember
let them take you for a
the
ride.
Missouri River below Sioux City, that's where it becomes channelized, where
Yeah.
they start for barges and whatnot.
Yeah.
The current there is, it makes any river in this state look like a little sissy. It's
Yeah.
so fast. It's so strong. I mean, the average flow there, you're getting, I don't know, like a normal medium flow, you're 100,000 cubic feet per second flow. The Mississippi is like a fifth or sixth of that.
Really?
It's
Wow.
crazy.
Wow. Yeah, back home, the Rio Grande, the Rio Bravo, man, it gulls, dude. I mean, I remember we used to throw out balloons to mark the current to see how,
Yeah.
the travel. We gotta get into all that. But yeah, sometimes we would have to move because the balloons carry on, and then we're on. That's where we cast it to. Yeah, we used to do a lot of that. Ballooning. I don't know if you guys ever seen that, heard of that.
Ballooning?
Yeah.
A balloon, but probably different than what you're doing.
And we'll do it too, like we'll let it so that it takes your line. So what you do is you tie a balloon to a rod, or sometimes we'll use that, that kind of like, what's it called, like that kite flying line, and we'll let it go.
Yeah.
And once it reaches and the balloon stays in one place and it just,
It's the eddies and just kind of
Slack
stops.
water.
yeah,
Yep.
there you go. And then you pull the line and the balloon snaps off. And
That's how your bait drops,
yeah,
right?
that's when your beat drops. Yeah. And we did that too in Tonka when we were fishing the crappie contest. I did it and I let the waves just take it, and then when it stopped, I let it go. I just pulled it on, catch nothing. But we tried it, and it works even on lakes. It works even on lakes. Yeah, I looked in Butte back home in I forget what that town's called. But that's like where Chris Torres goes from Muddy River Catfishing. That's what he does is fishing. And that's that picture right there. I'll show a picture for the podcast, but that's Alligator right there. You can see that's a picture from this year. You can see
What lake is that?
how low it is. Elephant View.
Oh, that's
super
Elephant View.
It's
low.
Elephant View.
Oh, there.
Very low.
It's
So-
very low.
Popular catfish lake.
It is. It's striper and
I would like to get on some stripers
Yes.
someday. Dude, stripers are on my bucket list.
Oh yeah.
because the guys asked me, do we have to hit lures? Absolutely.
Yes.
Back home, those any white red rooster tail, any maps,
Yep.
they'll hit it, or even a jig with a plastic shad, and they'll hit that.
There's a
Shells
local
are-
YouTuber that he just put out a video a couple weeks ago. He got a flathead around here on a crankbait deep diver.
I believe it.
They'll hit it. That's why when we look at those, some guy said, do you have any shirts, catfishing shirts that have a catfish, but aren't hitting the lure? And I'm like, no. I said, well, every shirt I find, it's a catfish hitting the lure. It's just because down south, they're known to hit lures. You don't see that up here, but they do. Like that time I went to,
Well, they do if they're in the right mood, or I don't know.
Water clarity is the
Yep.
biggest
Yeah.
problem here.
Does the current have to do with anything too?
Not really, I don't think. You can go up north up in by Thief River Falls and throw crankbaits for channel cats all day long.
I believe it.
A lot clearer water, just a different.
People always say they're bottom feeders, and like, no, they hunt too. Like,
They
do.
they're very,
Very predatory.
yep.
down here in Wall Lake, remember that day they
Yeah.
told me to go because of the walleyes, and there's so many people there I couldn't. So I started casting a popper, and I got 2 channel cats on a popper, on a Rebel popper.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
There used to be a time when there wasn't a lot of people fishing Long Lake.
No,
Yeah.
Now you can't do it. I've gone by there some nights.
last year was
20 cars along there.
Insane.
Holy
The one over
It
here
was
is
insane.
Yep.
of
Right
Right
over
before you
that
get to-
way.
right before
yes. I'm trying to find a word to explain the city.
What do they call it though? They don't call it one
I don't
It's
know.
Long Lake.
I've always
It's only
heard it
ridiculous.
as Long Lake.
a ravine.
You call it the ravine.
It's a backwater.
Ravine. Yeah, it is.
It's like a little depot. Or
Yeah,
not
it's
different.
exactly what it is.
Something different. But that one has the channel. You can see the water coming through. It
Yeah.
goes into the street.
And then once the water gets so low, it's not good anymore.
No.
You need to have that flow underneath that
Yeah.
water.
Otherwise, then the walleyes come in and, dude, it was like super packed.
I don't know
I couldn't even get in.
Walleye, there's no walleye that go in there.
Now you're starting to get it done. That's why I said you
Y'all are giving out too much information.
We're talking a little too much.
That's what I said. You
Yeah.
got that 110 pound here outside of Carver, didn't you?
Let's get off that backwater talk.
Yes.
No, we're gonna edit that out. No dropping names, especially little waters.
Now that it's going to be like, great, now we're going to get more people coming down here.
Speaking of good lakes, there is a lake. I don't know if Jay's been there. You might know, but Tasca County Big Dick Lake.
Yeah, Jingles are a lot.
That's what I thought. I figured it's one of his favorite lakes.
He comes right in.
And that is a real lake.
It's a real lake. We just found out about that today.
Is it
Tasca
really?
County Big Dick Lake.
Big Dick Lake.
We planned this setup.
Named after my entire family.
I fucking hate y'all, man.
I don't know. No, it really is a lake.
It is
It
a
really
lake.
is. Yeah.
For real.
Google it.
Yeah. You got to go there to do something to fish the big dick.
Big Dick Lake, huh?
Look it up.
I'm about to right now.
Tasca
Can we go
County.
ice fish it?
No public access. There's just no ramp. I don't know if there's public land around it or not, but but it's definitely the name of a
Can
lake.
I park off on the road somewhere?
Or you can park wherever you want.
All right.
You seen that pike lake
When I
down
do
here?
it.
Like when you're going towards
I don't know
Mystic
if you
Lake?
guys are fucking with me, but
I am familiar with
we're gonna find out right now.
Then we'll leave it there.
Phone's making it all fuzzy.
it. Is. Yep.
Internet service sucks here, so.
Yeah, I'll find it. My phone doesn't make it fuzzy. But anyways, and Jay,
What's up?
what's your most memorable bass? Is that something
My
you
most
fish or
memorable,
bass?
my most memorable bass. I don't know, man. Bass. I've caught so many bass. Bass is a bass to me these days. You know,
It's kind of, I don't know.
Until you catch that one.
until I catch that one.
Till like it's
I haven't caught that one yet. My
close to
biggest,
state record.
my
Yeah,
biggest is
yeah.
514. So it's
It's a big pass.
I don't know how big my
514 is. I know.
I don't
it is.
carry a scale with me, so I never weigh them. But I've got some.
They're kiddings. Yeah, they're kiddings. It's right there.
That's fucking nuts,
They're,
dude.
they're big.
256 acres. That's pretty big.
Pretty big dick.
Oh, 514 was. I caught it on a crappie minnow.
Wow. Were you bass fishing?
No, I was crappie fishing with my.
Doesn't count.
Fuck you. I was crappie fishing with my wife and daughter.
No shit.
Yeah, dude. We brought a big bag of crappies home that day. Big old fish fry.
I would have flayed that bass up. That would have tasted good.
Got enough crappies for that one
I'm
bag.
not. I'm not big on bass.
I'm not either.
Neither am I. We caught enough crappies that day to put that bass back.
Yeah,
They're not bad if you eat them at the right time of year,
Yeah,
though.
we gotta get out there. We gotta take you out there. Maybe buy a t-shirt. I fished that big boat.
Y'all motherfuckers is something else, man. For real. You're fucking.
Did you ever do you never do a blooper,
Nah, I ain't fucking. I put a bunch of blooper stuff in my fucking videos.
do you?
Yes, I do. I put all my stuff in my videos. If I have a blooper, I put a blooper in here.
I found a video the other day looking. Now that I have my own channel, I have some old stored stuff that never made the Northwood show.
Yeah.
I found a video from when the ice was melting on a lake, and I was shore fishing in a little open water where the creek comes in, and I face planted straight into the lake on camera.
Really?
I gotta put that somewhere sometime. It's hilarious.
It's good because did you see that? It's nothing's perfect.
I still
Yeah.
fished.
Nothing's
Yeah,
perfect.
You're already there.
Where?
You're already out.
It's true.
You're already wet.
You may as well just, I don't know. I would try it for at least a little bit.
I'm going hard on this channel.
Are you?
Yep.
Do it.
Going all out.
Kind of doesn't dance on you. Is that better?
Really?
The collar's
Jay
loose.
broke it.
I'm trying to find this fucking picture for Luke.
Technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties.
There you go.
Operator error.
Are you looking for that picture?
Yeah.
What's your most memorable fish, Chewy?
Mine is, I made this lizard. We called it
I don't know.
I carved one out of wood and we made a mold out of it, and we called it Mr. Slick or something like that. I can't remember, but we went out to O'Dowd, and there was another. Well, I don't know. He's not around here anymore, so I guess I can say it. So yeah, so there was another guy that was making lures in Jackson. He's just was he had our group and we had our group. We hanged out in what we call the Shaggle Tea, which we talked about. It's that tea on the road there, that coming off the flow in front of Snyder. So,
Yeah.
And we used to always gather and fish. And his group used to always be on the other side on O'Dowd, back when you can drive in, where they have that where it's closed off now, like right behind the golf course. And he was talking, and one day somebody said, "Hey, he's over here talking smack." So when I went over there, he was out there in his kayak, and I went home, grabbed my kayak, and got right next to him. And then I said, "All right, we'll settle this."
You're a feisty little guy, aren't you?
Well, it's not that. I'm really not that way. After a while,
Yeah, he is.
after a while, you
Yeah.
get sick of it. After a while, when they start calling you on and they start saying you're something you're not, then it's settled, right? So we went up and we were right off. When you launched into Odell, you got that first between the island and then between the two islands, I guess. There's an island and this water. We're going through there. I stopped, I cast it, and I caught. We never got to weigh it, but people were going nuts over it. But it had to be at least 8 pounds bass on that lizard. And then the bet was that whoever lost quit doing soft plastics. And I won.
That was it.
So not only did I beat him, but I come a personal PB. And then the guys wanted to, were telling me to go down to the beach out there downtown track with me to weigh it. But I really didn't go there. I didn't want to go there, so we ended up releasing it. I actually took it home. My dad took a picture of it. He took 2 pictures, me holding it, and then the other one, I have both my hands in its mouth. My brother has its hand in its mouth, both hands, and my dad has his both hands in its mouth. That's how big. I mean, that
Big old fat mouth on it.
It was out of bounds.
that was no doubt. And then afterwards, people were telling me. I hear stories. Yeah, one time this guy caught a 9-pounder or a 10-pounder. It had to be between 7 and 8, but it was a huge mama.
So if anyone ever hears that story, that was true.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, we let it go, and they said that was a record for that. Like I don't know what the record is for now, but I didn't care about that at the time. I was focused on that dude. It's just
That like gets hammered.
Yeah, it does.
That needs time to
But
recover.
I've pulled out more 5-pound plus out of full than of doubt. If you know how to get back there,
Mm-hmm.
you'll pull out more 5-pound bass out of it.
I fished full this year.
Yeah, I know.
I went down there and fished it. I changed the lakes. I changed tournament lakes because I didn't want to fish it because it was so fucking weedy.
Oh no, that day we went out, I caught it was close to a 4-pounder, 5-pounder there, no doubt. With the
Yeah,
stupid lure.
yeah.
Remember?
Yep.
Yeah, we went out and
Stupid lure.
we were going to record, and a thunderstorm just hit us. Like, why? Right when we're in the water, we're going to cross the channel back to the flow, and I mean, it just crashed on us. So then we pulled out. We trailered the boat, and then the sun came out. So then Jay goes, well, "Let's go to Dow," because you had some friends over there.
Yeah.
Somebody called and said they were
Yeah.
over there. So we just went across the street, went there, and then he always makes fun of that stupid lure. And I casted it out. And as soon as I brought it in, like 6 feet from where we landed, close to the shore there, that point, pretty much the same point where I caught that other bass, that big bass. Just took it. Boom.
You still make plastics?
Yeah, we do make them, but I haven't like dedicated. Not the new molds that we made, but
You
all the
injection?
we do injection.
Oh, nice.
And then plus, right now, in another month, we're going to send our masters to Georgia, and this company is going to mass produce this lure for us for next season.
I get on that. Those YouTube channels do injection. Some of those guys are insane.
Yeah, and I used to do that a lot, and then one day Facebook wanted to turn my Facebook page into a public figure. And I didn't understand what that was about, so I never did what they asked to do. You had to send your ID, send a picture of your ID, prove that you're whatever, and then we're gonna do that. And that's so. One day I tried to get in there and it was gone. So then once they did all that, they put the page back on, but all the likes and all the content was gone. So they had to start over. So that's my bad, but I didn't understand what the public figure was about and why they wanted to do that. I thought it was just a way to get money out of me. I didn't understand what that was about. But that time I took on another endeavor and then we got back to it.
Facebook screws people over. I mean, it does.
Like we did that when we did our page, and I still don't even know. Like we did our page and we converted it over. I talked to some people, said, "Hey, I'm gonna start getting back I'm gonna do a podcast, not the radio thing, but we're gonna do the podcast." And in 1 week, almost 3,000 followers, right?
Something like that.
Close to 3,000, it's like 2,940 something.
It's impressive.
So they know. So that makes me feel good because they know that now they know I'm back because people thought I had quit. It just said that I quit. It's just I didn't have time for it.
Sometimes life gets in the way of things.
Anyhow, yeah. So that's how that started. But for those of you who know, we used to have a radio station or a channel, I guess, on Live 365 called the Sportsman's Radio, and it was me, Jason. I forget his last name. There were some other guys I can't remember. And we used to do pretty much at 11 o'clock. We would go live and we would talk about things going on in the hunting and the fishing industries. Talk shit about the bills and whatever was coming up. And then have a broadcast. And then of course we had music. This is a radio station. There was music in between the shows, and the show would repeat itself 4 times during the day without the bad words. And then and then repeat for the whole week because we just did it live once. I think we started once a week, and then we started doing it twice a week. But at 11 o'clock, if you caught it live, it was uncensored, and we talked about everything that we needed to talk about that had to do with the industry. And that was what we did, and then I quit that. And of course, I published Custom Beats magazine. And after a while, I didn't have time for it anymore because like I said, I took another endeavor, and that took too much of my time, so we quit that. And I'm not going to say that we're going to come back and republish Custom Beats magazine, but we will feature some of that stuff on this podcast. So for those of you that are lure makers, that are custom bait builders, that are just like me and others that you see on YouTube, if you want your product or your lures to be showcased on this podcast, just contact us and we'll give you all the information, and then we'll work it out and you'll be on here. And of course, like I posted on there, we're not charging you anything, nothing. I support everybody in the custom bait world, custom rod world. Anything that has to do with custom, whether you're a custom builder, custom painter, whatever it is that you do, we support you.
What if you get something that's horrible? Will you still put it on?
We'll put it on.
I like that.
Because it doesn't matter. See, sometimes we used to get lures that would get sent to us, and we would look and then we'd be like, what's this for? What is it? What do you fish for this? Whatever. And we'll call, and then it'll be the mom of the 6-year-old kid that sent that in.
Yeah.
So then we will put those pictures in the magazine in the back. And then we'll tell them, what's your lure company's name? And they'll give you this name, and you put it on there.
That's cool.
And that's what we did. And we showcased a lot of anglers, like a lot of moms with their kids, articles, anything that they sent to us, we put it on.
We should start doing single moms with kids that want to fish, and I'll come over there.
There you go, guys. Do they have to be from Minnesota, or could they be from any state?
Anywhere.
So you're a single mom and you want to get out and fish.
Luke's single.
Contact over there. Luke will take you out. He got a nice jet boat.
Yep. He's got a really nice jet boat.
And he supports the rainbow.
That is, I do support the rainbow. That
Everybody supports the rainbow.
Everybody should support the rainbow.
Oh.
We love you, Jay.
Love you too, buddy.
But yeah, so that's a little history of where I'm from, and of course, we also own the beach up here in Carver. Me and my brother-in-law Rika, and we got field staffers and pro staffers and all kinds of things going on.
I must have missed my offer in the mail.
I didn't think we even knew.
Well, Luke, if you're down,
Based on my experience, and I know you've gone through this, but based on my experience with YouTubers or other big builders that have been in this industry more than you have, and the way they treat you, it's like you don't even think about it. You'll do it once or twice, and when you see how they respond, that's if they respond, pretty much you're like,
it's tough.
I do my thing. I'd rather wait, yeah, and it's tough sometimes because after a while, I went through that too.
We burned a couple of bridges, not intentionally, but
yeah,
it's just so hard.
Yeah, and then now some of the guys that I used to contact now contact me. So and sometimes you feel like saying, well, what do you contact me for? When I contacted you 4 years ago, this is what you told me.
I'm pretty sure on this. We weren't into big like Northwoods. We had 35,000 subscribers. We weren't into the sponsor stuff. We're not pro staff for a bunch of people. We work for a couple, our friends' companies that we really like the product.
Yeah. My
new channel, it's going to be like, if I like your shit, I'm putting it on there with no strings attached.
Yeah.
I don't need to be.
Yeah, there you go, guys. So if you guys send us lures, send some extra ones so we can put them out in the water.
Yep.
Don't put them to good use.
And we'll put them to the test. Yeah. Yeah, but you know what I mean, right?
I exactly know what you mean.
And I gotta tell these guys too, you know, you gotta get used to the fact someday you're gonna go out and eat breakfast with your family, and somebody's gonna tap you on the shoulder and say, "Hey, are you that guy?"
That already happens.
You know, I know it happens to you now. At least it happened to me. You're like, your first response is, "I'm eating breakfast with my family."
It really hit.
But, you know,
it really hit me the first time when it hit me this summer when I was out with my wife, and there was a bunch of kids hanging out on the dock, and when I was launching my boat, and the kids started screaming, "Hey, are you Jay? I watch your channel." And I was like, "Man, that's just cool as hell." Man.
Yeah,
Like,
it is.
a bunch of kids on the dock screaming, man. I'm like, "Man, that's awesome."
Signing autographs was probably the most surreal moment of my life.
Yeah.
My first Catfish Conference, I took pictures. I took 200 pictures.
Yeah.
Signing autographs for kids.
Oh yeah, by the way, what is it? November? CatCon, right? That's what we call it.
November
I forgot.
19th and 20th.
I can't remember, but it's going to be in Kansas. Kansas City, right?
Kansas City. At
Missouri?
the Kansas City Expo Center, I believe.
Is that in Missouri?
Missouri,
Yeah.
They're still doing the one in Louisville. But this is like another one now.
Yeah, I got to go to this one. I've been seeing it. So,
It's such a cat community, it's such a cool. They're so tight, they are.
they are kind of like fast.
But not as sassy.
Bass guys aren't sassy, man. We only get sassy when walleye guys are like, fucking walleye guys, bro.
Have you seen Chris's post where he goes back and forth with another guy? No. Jesus Christ. It's so funny. Chris, I think Chris
I love
almost
looking
gets
at
it.
those like
Chris,
He's sharp.
I think the last post I read was Chris cutting up. He was cutting up some white bass. Or
I don't care if you want to eat bass. I really don't give a shit.
No. It was cutting them up because the other guy, he guides for white bass and stuff. So he says something like, "Hey, I'm cutting up. I'm cutting what you catch for a living." That's deep.
Go and look at any of my bass pictures that I post on Facebook. All those guys on South say it's good bait.
It's gonna be
Yeah, I'll say that.
We used to say that. I used to see here because when I got here, I was a complete carp fisherman and cat fisherman because that's all we had. Like
Tiger ball.
every now and then you catch some black bass, but I said, "Oh yeah, tiger balls."
Most people won't know what that is.
I don't know what it is.
Tiger balls is like I think it's like a bulbous that comes up like some type of grass in Europe, and they use that for carp. It's big.
Huh.
And somebody told me, I was talking to a friend on the phone, and he said, "Yeah, did you see Luke's video about that tiger balls?" And I said, "No." So I found it, and I
Not
said,
Luke. Cats and carp Luke.
"No, you came out
I
on
was
it too."
in the video.
Yeah, you
I was in the video.
But he didn't ask you that, did he?
No, I don't know what my question was. He asked me a question, I don't remember.
A lot of the things that he showed, I recognized because I follow carp. I used to subscribe to the on the Jew mag. They had a lot of free magazines from There was one from the United States. There was a carp, and now you have. It used to be a free subscription. Now I think you have to pay. And then there were some magazines from Europe, and I would read those magazines on carp fishing.
Carp is so big over there. They don't even want me like, if you set a carp down, it better be on a wet tarp.
Yeah, really?
Oh yeah,
Dude, it's crazy.
No wet towel,
They crucify you
Over
online.
in Europe, pike fishing's like that too.
It's big over, so are the red perch.
Yeah.
Giant perch. Bigger, way bigger than
You set a pike head on
There's
over
this,
Europe, and you're gonna get scolded.
There's this video, this guy that makes videos, I don't know if you've seen him, where he has the lures coming under the water, so you see the pike camp, they don't have hooks, but you see the lures traveling under the water, and then you see this pike react and then go bite them, and then you can tell which lure they prefer. So I have 2 or 3 sometimes side by side. Have you ever seen the videos?
Those lure camps usually are perch.
I know.
We
Lure
use them.
camps.
We use them in a king salmon show.
Oh yeah?
Nice.
It was awesome.
On Friday, leaving at 11 p.m. Sucks to be you. You said you wanted to go, and I told you when I was going, it was gonna be like, tell me when we're going, because it happens that fast. He knows.
Just gotta go whenever they're running.
They pull it down on you?
Scott, what's your most memorable fish?
I don't know, probably whenever I was little. My stepbrother reached out. I don't know, it was probably 5 or 6 pound cat, but I was a little kid. So
Huge.
to me, they were just huge. You know, that was from that moment on. Like, I don't know, I was hooked.
You're hooked way before I was.
Oh yeah, I mean that was in my grandma's pond, dude. Like she had bluegill over they were big, and I mean they never could just cast a bare hook out there and just bring them in. And I should have been using them for bait, but I didn't know at that time that they were good bait. But it was legal there, so
I didn't see a catfish till I was 21 or 22. I'd never even seen one.
Really?
I grew up on a lake in northern Minnesota. There's no catfish.
Yeah.
I didn't know what a sturgeon was. I fished bass, pike, walleye. That's what I fished.
When I first got to Minnesota, my dad lives a couple, maybe a mile away from the Dell. And he took me down to a Dell. And I was fishing from the old ending. And I caught a pike. And you know, when you're going to handle it, you're going to handle it. You got a fish, or you're going to put your finger in your handle. And I did that. And it was just
chopped.
Blood started pouring.
And I did this shit, and then it didn't get any better.
no.
Yeah, and you can see that scar right there. But actually, the tooth came out, and it was in here. It was on.
That's
Oh,
heavy.
pull it out. And after that, for years, they didn't care what lure it had, whether it was $20 lure or whatever it was. I wouldn't handle it.
Really?
I was that scared. I'd never seen a fish with teeth.
It's like a traumatization against dogs or something like that.
Yeah, no, and that really was scary. And Senior used to always, my dad used to always laugh at me. You know, if I would catch one, he would have it. And I wouldn't even get near it. I've never seen one like that. I've only seen carp, catfish, and bass.
You do that shit at your age, you're getting judged now.
You see what that?
Yeah.
Did you see what that pike did to me this year? Like they ripped my hand open.
Yeah.
Oh, I had one just for the
How many
gills
stitches did
getting
you
me.
I didn't get stitches.
You didn't get stitches?
No, I didn't go. My wife was fucking big. My wife's hurt.
Yeah.
That's
what I was gonna say.
blue cat I got destroyed my hand more than anything.
Oh, I believe it.
I had blood just pouring down my hand. It's a big mouth.
Yeah. And like
60 grand on there.
we've talked about before, I mean, whenever they get that big, they're not like sandpaper teeth anymore. They're
It's like sandpaper still, but the grittiest sandpaper you've
Yeah.
ever felt.
Yeah.
And when they shake and clamp down, dude, I had blood everywhere.
Yeah.
I didn't show it in the video because YouTube doesn't like
Have you ever been noodling?
No.
I don't
I'm
even.
not scared to. I have a personal thing because I don't like pulling. I don't want to go sit and pull catfish out of nests.
I don't want to pull a fucking snapper turtle out.
I think some also they almost set up like boxes in there.
It almost becomes like they know there's a fish in there.
That's not fun.
Whatever. I mean, some people like to do it. I don't have whatever.
Yeah.
I want to do it.
I'm not against it. It's not my thing. Like you have what's her name? Hannah.
Hannah, my soon-to-be, hopefully, wife.
Yeah, you're in 12 months.
You
Right.
go noodling with her.
I love her.
Well, she seems like a good person.
Southern sweetheart.
Yeah, she is big. So, yeah. She came out in Cats, King of the Sea. You ever have her on Instagram?
No.
She's like, if there's a girl in the catfish world, she's like the guys, all the catfish guys like her. She's just a southern sweetheart, doesn't no fear.
Yeah, so
She got scarred arms. She don't care.
Oh, yeah, she gets.
And she's smoking hot.
Yeah, and it's just it's just that thing that they know that there's going to be a catfish there. They just don't know how big it's going to be and the fight, and that's what gets them going on there. That seems that.
But what happens if there's a fucking snapper turtle in it?
And you lose your finger.
Yeah.
Well, don't they get
A couple of fingers.
Don't they get gloves?
I don't think guys are going to
Some of them do.
It doesn't honestly happen.
No. So,
Don't
I
know
mean,
if it
you have
does.
to like it has to be like a brave, like a unique situation where that didn't happen.
We got a snapping turtle in Texas. We were fishing Alligator Gar.
Oh yeah.
It was I have a picture of it on my phone, but it was over 100 pounds. The head was the size of a volleyball.
That's crazy.
Caught it on a piece of carp, a giant
Yeah.
piece of carp, and it had the whole thing down. Biggest thing, So huge.
Probably pretty
You
big.
didn't-
I'm not sure.
This is an alligator snapper. So
Oh,
Yeah.
huge ridges on the back.
Yeah, they look like Bowser.
Epic.
scary.
I'll get a picture of it up for you guys. You can
Yeah.
see it.
Scary.
I've seen some big ones down in Kansas whenever I lived down there. Yeah, I was actually swimming in a pond one time as a kid, and like I just felt something right here.
Like a cramp or something.
Dehydrated?
Probably.
Yeah, there it is.
You know. Yeah, I've seen some like
Oh,
Jesus.
Oh my god. What the fuck's
That
that
guy.
guy?
That's my buddy John.
What is what?
So huge. Dude.
that thing is
It's
big.
this big across the back. I mean, wow. You're holding it like this. Like nobody could lift it up. It was so heavy. Dude. Huge.
How'd you get it in?
Didn't get it in. You caught the line. The nice part about alligator snap is not the nice part, but common snapper turtles can stretch their neck pretty far.
Yeah.
Alligator snappers can't. Very limited on movement. Then you got soft shells which have slinky necks. They'll come all the way back around.
Did you guys ever see that that Facebook video that's going around when this guy's holding one up? I think it's just a snapping turtle. And he holds it up too close to his face and it grabs it right in the mouth.
Oh,
See that?
no, I
That'd be a nightmare.
don't know that I want to see it.
Now, bro. That's what you get, stupid.
Right.
You learn. That's what the turtles look like. And
How stupid it is.
the turtles look like 6 in right there.
But if it's hard, it's
Oh
hard.
my god.
See, right there. That what you learn?
Dude.
It didn't let go, did it?
Oh no, let me go.
Did it?
Yeah, but dude,
Sometimes
you can
you
see
can't.
the fucking view, the view of the beach.
Sometimes they won't let go.
Oh no. I saw a guy
Yeah.
a guy in Eagle League one bit him on the he lifted it by the tail and he got him on the side of the lake.
You don't
And
grab
took
it by
a
the
shot.
tail.
Grabbed him by the tail, lifted it up, and then you turned and grabbed him right around the cap or something, and we had to. No matter what we did, he wouldn't let go of the family. This guy even said poke him in the ass. They tried all kinds of shit, and he wouldn't let go. And then that one guy got there. Somebody had started a fire, and they got mistaken. They put it close to his.
Smoked
They
it
pretty
out.
much burned him. That's how you let
You
go.
guys are listening, you want to know how to grab a snapping turtle? Find the middle of the shell and grab each side and lift it up. Don't grab it anywhere else.
No.
Don't grab it by the tail.
No.
Those things will destroy you.
And he took off, and he was. You can tell he was scared. He left immediately, so I'm pretty sure.
Sure.
I never saw him back again. I'm not saying he was back. I just.
Snap turtles have almost gotten me a few times.
There's a bait spot I used to go to, North Minneapolis a little bit, and every time I'd go down there at night to fish for bullheads, this 30-pound, 40-pound snapper turtle would come up to me and I'd give it bullheads on land as I fished. It'd take it from me, I'd kind of kill it, throw it in the water, it'd take it, go down and eat it, and then it'd come back up, it would set out of the water and just stare at me until I give it another one.
I got a video of
That
one.
is cool.
I got a video of one. My brother-in-law came down there, but it's in where the lake was. But he was chasing. He was going after kangaroo, and he was going around in circles, and he wouldn't give up, dude. Wouldn't give up.
There's a kind of change topics, but it's kind of relevant to especially river fishing here in Minnesota. It sounds like the 2-line law is getting a little traction again.
Yeah, they are.
Heard
They're
it's
actually going to bring that up.
Heard
Oh, you are. So I ruined
They're
it.
actually, no.
Sorry.
No.
No.
I don't know about that. Yeah. They said it's still not going to happen soon.
It will
This
not.
is a couple of years.
You probably don't know this, Chewy, but I'm part of the citizen group for the DNR workshop.
Oh,
Help
okay.
make that.
All right. Right on, dude.
Nice.
So we meet a few times a year, 4 times a year, I believe, and we discuss laws we want to change. Like we got thrown it, our group got thrown it passed.
Yeah.
For bait, we got before I was in the group, we got the bullhead law passed where you could actually use bullheads as bait.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So the group, the Catfish Workshop group's doing a lot of stuff to try to get this 2-line law passed.
What about the video?
Ain't happening. Nope.
Not
And
happening.
and to be honest, I wouldn't be supportive of that.
It ain't happening anytime soon. Let's just say that it's not even on the table for talk right now.
No, for panfish.
Bluegills.
There's an article somewhere
Bluegill for bait.
early
Oh,
2006-07 where it's discussed on an article
Yep.
But it ain't going.
Why? Why isn't it going?
They're game fish and they don't want to change the game fish law. That's just pretty much what it comes down to. I
Yeah.
don't think it won't hurt the population. But there's so much involved where because it is a game fish, that it's just going to cause so many problems for them. And I don't know how much I can get into it, but it's pretty much because it's a game fish and they're not going to change that. It's probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many other baits you can use anyways. Bluegill are great baits, which is a nice part of fishing Wisconsin water. You can use bluegill.
You can do a lot in Wisconsin.
It's true. You can use walleye as bait in Wisconsin. Really goes towards your daily limit. Oh yeah. Yep.
I don't know that.
Here, how many lines are you allowed to get over there? Like,
You can use 3. So I guess I know border water laws really well. So when I don't know inland laws, it's either 2 or 3. But when you're a Minnesota resident with a Minnesota license, and you're fishing the border water, either the Croy or the Mississippi, you can use 2 lines on their side.
yep.
You don't need a lot of people think you need a Wisconsin license to fish 2. You do not. You can use 2 on the Minnesota side. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And then you use 3 on the Wisconsin side, just with the Minnesota license.
Yeah.
People think like, oh, I don't have the Wisconsin license. Well, you don't need it. No.
Especially when you're not in another country.
Yep.
I still haven't fished right.
But you can't use bluegill on the Minnesota side.
No.
Which is weird. You can use an extra rod, but you cannot use bluegill, but you can on the other side of the river. It's just crazy.
I think
Weird
it
laws.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about using bluegill.
I mean, for time.
You want to discuss it with me? Yeah, I got all day.
Yeah.
No, I'm just
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
A little bit of a debate.
Why don't you want it to be used today?
I don't know.
You have a special feeling for him?
I don't know.
You like
Yeah.
some?
But I think, well, I guess there's something wrong with it, I suppose. But
I'm not
well,
opposed to it.
I'm not opposed to it.
I'm not totally
They're
against
not
it.
gonna
I'm
be
just,
using the giant
it's going to
ones
change the
anyway.
game.
I would like to use.
It might change the game, but catfishermen have it the hardest in this entire state.
Yeah, they do.
Yep.
You go anywhere else in the country, you can use multiple rods, you can use different baits. I mean, we're sitting there catfishing. I mean, in other states you can bump and drag and move when you're full plated boards when you're catfishing, but you don't really do that here.
Yeah.
You're stuck with one rod in a static position the whole time, and people aren't really keeping them for the most part. And we got the limits reduced on them so much now. We're having 2 rods. It's just so frustrating not being able to.
That so, I never, have you fished bluegills for cats?
I have many times.
How big is a good size bluegill for?
I prefer like 6 inches.
See, right there it's good. I'm talking like if you get into the 7, 8 bluegill.
Well, they're good too, but I don't prefer them. And you almost don't eat those.
Yep.
Or release them. Sounds like you want to release them.
Yeah, I'm big in, yeah.
Catch and release.
It's only, I know there's a bunch of them, but it'd be hard for you to reduce, but I really like the law that they passed where they limited the amount of bluegills inside the tank. That I liked a lot because when you get these big monsters, you get bulls. You want to catch bulls, I just think like if we were to legalize the bluegills for catfishing, like some people are going to take advantage of that.
I agree.
Like it's like it's like bullheads, right? Bullheads, 8 inches is 10 inches max, right? You can use. How many of you guys get out there? 12, 14,
Right.
bullheads? It happens. It happens. Right?
It's
There's guys that fish with 2 lines.
Yeah.
I mean, right?
It's the changing of fish, the limits had to change. I mean, fishing. There's so many more people fishing, and there's so many better ways people can talk on social media to fish out a whole lake. I mean, look at Long Lake, like we talked about earlier. That was social media and a group of friends, and then it just exploded. I used to fish there, nobody was there. And I don't hate people for doing it. I would have done the same thing. It was a good body of water, and the amount of people fishing nowadays, the limit's got to be restricted a little.
There's definitely a lot more pressure.
100%. River fishing bigger than it's ever been.
And by the way, I support the Catfish community 100%.
Not everyone supports it. It's not even a reality.
I think that if it were to ever even hit the table and it hits discussion, I think the size limit should be set. Like
100%
here.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to take the big mouth out of that water. We need the big mouth.
It's not, you don't want to take the nail.
There's
Garters.
you need, that's the thing with, so we had a discussion in the workshop way back, a couple of years back. My belief was that genetics played a big role. Big fish produce big fish.
Yep.
It's not true.
It's not true.
There's no scientific evidence to prove that.
That's right.
But a big fish has stronger eggs and a lot more of them.
Yep.
And that's why you want to keep those bigger fish. And now they're finding out that walleye are fertile longer than people expected they were.
And there was, I saw a video somewhere on YouTube that talked about it.
Was I in it?
Discussed that. Maybe you were.
Maybe.
But there is a video, right?
Yeah.
Not lying. Okay, I'm not lying.
I did one, but it was a podcast.
Was there a podcast?
I did one where I talked about it.
They could have been a podcast. I remember I heard about that.
But I loved the theory about genetics. And it sounded so good, and it made so much sense.
It does.
Until I found out there was no scientific evidence to back that genetics pass on from fish to fish. But the big thing is like a small flathead will have 1/20th of the eggs a big flathead has, and those bigger eggs the eggs get bigger on bigger fish typically and stronger. They're more hardy in the water.
Yeah.
That's what's important is those big breeders, man.
Yep.
Obviously, there's a time when the fish become less fertile, but those eggs are still strong. They're living.
Like I would like though to use carp.
Like me being down
100%.
south, a lot of people use blue.
Considering it's a naturalized invasive species now, where it's in every body of water,
Yep.
there's no reason
You
why
should
not be able to
shouldn't.
use carp.
Yep.
Not a single one.
Shad.
Yeah, you can use shad.
Yeah, but you can't take them home.
It's true.
You
Which
can't take
sucks.
them home.
Yep.
You can't
Yeah.
take shit home.
We get so many calls if we have any frozen. I'm like, don't do it.
Nope.
And then I said, and for me to bring them out of state, I need to get
lot of
a lot
money.
of license. I don't remember what. I talked to somebody from there. They said I need to get a weight user or some other type of
Yeah.
license.
Yeah.
For $100 license.
Press
I take a video and I don't know what else.
Unfortunate and fortunate when the Minnesota River became invasive, then we can take shad out of here, which is nice.
But I would like to use carp.
Just wait for the silver carp to come. The flying ones.
You think they will?
Yeah. They've already caught a couple in Stillwater.
No.
Yeah. Big heads too.
Really?
They're on their way, bro.
There's no population yet though.
But
There won't be for a long time.
those fish were let go by somebody, right? That started
I don't think
this.
so.
Do you think they've always been there?
In the United States, no, they were brought here.
They're
Yeah, they were
But
bragging.
now they've just gone crazy.
Yep.
And that's why they closed the upper locks of the Mississippi. It's just for Asian carp species. Asian carp, people think they're just the flying carp, but Asian carp is just a broad term for silvers to big heads and grass carp.
Okay.
And you can't really say that anymore. I think it's politically incorrect, but I don't mean it that way.
But they do pose a threat, right, to other species? or not?
100%. They're filter feeders.
Filter feeders. That's why.
So silvers are. So I brought a biologist with me to Missouri.
Yeah.
Or he brought me. I don't remember. We went fishing there together, and it was his first time he's actually held one in real life.
Okay.
And he studied, fish. He's been doing it forever, and he says he's never seen the gill rakes on a fish in his entire life. He couldn't believe how gill rakes are what take in the phytoplankton, zooplankton.
Yeah.
And he said he's never seen anything like it.
Really?
And they decimate plankton, and it affects shad populations and other bait fish. So minnows eat it, shad eat it, and these are these fish that are growing they grow at astronomical rates. So they're a very good fish to eat. They're very bony. A lot of people will grind them up in like fish patties or fish balls
Yep.
because they're really good. I've had pickled silver carp. They're awesome.
Really?
Super white flesh. They're not like common carp at all. But they got Y bones everywhere in them.
Huh.
So when you pickle them, the bones dissolve. So it's just pure white. It was great.
That's why people pick
Great
pike.
fish. Correct. Because a lot of people don't
Yep.
know how to flay them or don't
No,
want to.
they don't want to.
Yeah.
Did they have limits on that or no?
No, there's no limits on silver.
Don't care. So,
Dude, we got video. We have
Pretty
videos,
awesome, man.
we have videos
I
where
don't know.
we had them. We went up this creek in Missouri, and we pulled up into this creek and revved the motor. I bet 100 jumped on shore and 10 jumped in the boat at one time.
Wow.
Why do they do that though?
It's the sound in the water that gets them going, and they just launch.
Really?
I've been hit straight in the face by one, not moving, just sitting there. But yeah, you can go there and wrangle around wing decks in Missouri, and they're just jumping, and hitting the side of the boat, thump, thump, thump,
Oh,
jumping in the
dude.
boat.
That's insane.
So people will go out there with bows and shoot them out of the air and stuff. And
I've seen videos.
I seen that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I seen the guys that he's skiing and he's
Shotguns.
catching them.
It's a real thing. I mean,
Get some
and they're great
shotguns
blue cat
out.
bait. Really? So they're great catfish bait. But even if they came here, we would never be able to use them. Yeah, they decimate. They take over water. They don't like current though, which is nice. So they'll be in the slack waters. If they're in the Mississippi, if they populate here in the Mississippi, they're going to be behind all the wing dikes where all the slack water is, backwater stuff. They're going to be just loaded in there.
So initially they're in Minnesota.
They will be. Yeah, we got big heads in Minnesota. That's an Asian carp species. That's why it's invasive. That's why it was initially labeled as invasive, but now there's milfoil too. But and I think zebra has been found in there now too. But that was inevitable. I mean, it's in the Croy. I pulled up a wire when I was fishing with Jay the other night, a thick cable, and it was completely covered in
It was.
zebra mussels.
Wow.
Really?
It was, yeah.
Completely covered. Pretty incredible.
They take over quick.
They made Lake Minnetonka clear. Zebra mussels did.
Oh, they're in Waconia too.
Milford Reservoir in Kansas, when you walk the beaches,
Mm-hmm.
it's all zebras. It's not beach. It looks like pebbles. It's feet thick of zebra mussels, and that lake's crystal clear now because they filter the water so much. But it's not.
They're sharp.
They're very sharp.
They're sharp.
They cut your line and they cut your feet.
You were fishing the laps. You fucking
Yeah.
shot weights, you lose.
Right.
So so for those that don't know, what risks do they pose?
They filter all the stuff out that bait fish eat.
Oh, that's okay.
I think that's what they do. And that's
Yeah.
why the water, like Mille Lacs, is super clear because of them. And the bottom's just covered in, you've seen it. It's covered.
Yep.
It's because the reason it's going to be an impact on the fisheries because I'm trying to think of what I'm going to say. Shut up. The reason it's going to be an impact on the fisheries because they spread so much and it covers the bottom of the lake.
They're microscopic.
The weeds can't grow through them.
That is it, yeah.
The weeds can't grow through
It
them.
becomes a dead zone.
Yeah, it becomes a dead
So
zone.
it's like putting a.
It's crazy.
Well, and the weeds keep the oxygen
It's-
levels and a lot of that
it's-
shit.
And they
Yeah.
get bait fish places to hide, they
Yeah.
get prey fish places to go, and it's those invasive species are a tough one.
It's Mille Lacs is a perfect example for that. You know, there's hardly any weeds in that lake. You know, except for up shallow. You go out deep, there's no weeds, and there's zebra mussels everywhere.
Yeah, we put the camera down last winter, it was insane how many zebras are out.
I know. I
It
went,
just looks dead down there. It's crazy.
I went up there last winter ice fishing and put the camera down. It was
It's nuts.
cool as hell, man.
Mm-hmm.
That
I want
was,
to get out there.
Mille Lacs is fun.
We went by there by mistake that day.
Mille Lacs is really
By
fun.
mistake. I don't know how we.
How did you go by Mille Lacs
the-
by
the-
mistake?
We went over there to a beach up to visit another guy, a friend of ours that owns a beach up there. And I can't remember the name of the beach up. Anyways, so we went up there and the English woman on the navigation system took us one way and brought us back the other way. And when we were driving back, we saw the big walleye and we were like, where the hell are we?
And there it is.
And there it was, and I was like, dude, turn back, bro. And he actually, Omar is
Did you see how big it is though? Like whenever you're driving by it.
Yeah, Rika's nephew took me up there, and I told him stop, and he posted that picture in my Facebook page and tagged me, and then he says, I told him I always wanted to come to this lake, and here I am, like didn't even know where the hell it was, to be honest with you, and then he put on a Facebook, without even wanting to. There you go.
I went fishing on my lax 3 weeks ago.
Did you?
Yeah.
You know what we should do? We should bring a mobile podcast and a fish house this winter and do one from the ice.
Let's do it.
That'd be cool.
That'd be dope.
I wanted to do a couple of them.
Be awesome.
And Scott talked about that.
You're just full of
My
ideas
thing was like, how are we gonna
Chewy wants
How are you gonna
to
power
know
this shit?
how he's gonna power it, but I've got
That's
a little
easy.
battery box.
I have-
I got battery.
I have an ultra quiet generator that will power it all as long as we want, boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, and after that we can visit Big Dick Lake.
Yeah, we'll hike out the Big Dick.
Big Dick Lake.
We could just go live from Big Dick Lake.
Live from Big Dick. Live.
So with ice season or open water season's coming to a close pretty soon, what are you guys excited for? What do you got plans for during ice season?
Sturgeon.
Open water or
Ice.
or
Are we
just
talking ice or late fall?
I mean,
I'm ready for
I mean, our open water season's almost over.
Not on the river.
Not in the river,
Not
but
on the river.
we're talking about ice fishing.
Ice fishing, yeah.
What's your-
Sturgeon.
Sturgeon through the ice.
Sturgeon through the ice. I always do my Cascade Lake in Idaho perch trip.
Nice.
I go to Alabama in January
That's on my bucket list.
for blue cats on Wheeler, Wilson Lake on the Tennessee River.
On the ice?
Open water,
Open water.
Alabama. It'll be relatively warm, not warm, but Florida. I'll go there this winter to fish, and then I'll go up north and do some walleye fishing.
Okay.
Up there, and I like up at my parents'. It's kind of my place to get away. It's really quiet up there. It's kind of why I like the river. It's so quiet.
Yeah.
Like today, I was the only boat at the ramp.
Yeah.
I just hung out by myself and did some filming. Wish I would have had Jay's drone. That would have been epic. But
What's going on?
Well, he tried to call you.
What are you doing this week?
working.
Yeah, he's not a professional YouTuber like you
I'm
are.
not professional by any means,
I'm
man.
not there yet, Jay.
Not yet.
I'm not even there
Yeah.
yet. I'm trying my
But you're
fucking-
going to get there.
I
trying.
told Jay I got my first bass tournament in my entire life next weekend.
Oh, really?
Where at?
Up by Bemidji.
They're up shallow.
Oh, okay.
They're up shallow, bro. All the fish are
I
up
have
shallow.
no clue how to catch them right now, so I got to talk to all the
Alright.
people I know.
So, from what I've been doing recently, all right, I'll share with you guys, because obviously it's not gonna be out right now. Lily pads milk with the milfoil in the
No milfoil up there.
there's no milfoil up
Nope.
there.
Pads.
Pads,
Some broadleaf.
thick pads, thicker pads in deeper water.
What am I punching it or
Punching it with 1 ounce weight.
I can do that.
What are you,
I already won.
how long? I mean, how long?
8-inch.
No, I'm sorry. How far away is it from?
It's
2
about
weeks ago?
3
3 weeks ago?
next weekend.
Next weekend?
Yeah, find the water find the lily pads in like 6 to 8 feet of water.
It's an ultra clear lake too.
6 to 8 feet of water. They'll be
Natural colors.
They'll be black
Natural.
and blue.
Who you went out
Natural
with?
colors.
It's a fireman tournament
Black and blue.
put on by the Park Rapids Fire Department. It's bass and pike. Kind of
Pike?
Yeah, which I'm real good at.
Okay.
Well,
That's easy.
The fall bass thing I don't do. Smallmouth I do,
Okay.
but not largemouth. I don't know how much smallmouth are out there, but yeah, I've never done a bass tournament in my life.
they're fun.
Really? So I'm taking my jet boat out there, and I told the guy that's putting it on, I said, probably be seeing me pulling weeds out of my jet next weekend because it sucks up those weeds pretty
You
good.
gotta put a trolling motor on your boat.
I have a troll.
Yeah.
Did you put it on there?
Yeah.
You didn't. He didn't have it on there when we went out.
No,
No?
no. Used it today.
I was like, yeah, I saw it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't.
She's on
I
there
didn't
now.
know that.
So I'm excited. You have to take a fireman in your boat. So I got my buddy Ryan.
Hell yeah.
from around here. I said, let's go up north and fish the tournament.
Ryan, what Ryan?
My buddy Ryan Herman.
Ryan Herman?
You know Ryan.
Ah, dude, isn't there another
He's on your-
man that you know?
Herman's a good man.
He's a great man, but
Yeah.
he's sixth place.
he said,
I'm just kidding.
He said-
He was here.
I don't know if I have anything for any of that stuff. I said, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, no, don't worry about it.
It'll be fun.
We'll sponsor you guys.
I'm a true tournament angler now. I'm
Yeah.
sponsored.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yep.
I don't even get that offer. I run my own tournament series.
Yeah, Ryan's a good guy. He when he won the first tournament for the OCC, and he was the only one to catch. So we give him the shout out award.
I fish a lot with Ryan.
He was here like maybe 20 minutes before you got here.
Today?
Yeah.
Oh, because he was going to the Croy.
Yeah.
Because I saw he posted a picture. His wife got her first sturgeon.
Yeah.
53.
Nice.
There you go.
I should have fucking called
You know
you
what?
this morning.
Just
I
remember
should have
to-
fucking called you this
Yeah.
morning.
Paddlefish. Have you ever fished with paddlefish?
I've never snagged paddlefish. I want to sometime. I only want to do it once. I want to eat one. I want to smoke one. I want to try frying one.
Well, I'm gonna get some. One of our customers is gonna bring me some.
Oh,
Yeah.
bring some extra.
Double X.
Yeah, I want
I
to
should
try
send us
some
some
of that.
pictures so we can put them up in the shop.
I think they'll be tight to cool shit to catch.
I'd like to snag them. Again, people that
They're
aren't
big.
people that on the podcast aren't familiar with paddlefish, they're a filter feeder as well. They can only be snagged, and that's how you fish for them. You get a permit, and you get to snag a paddlefish.
That's the only way you can catch them.
It's the
Yep.
only way.
I did not know
And
that.
they are big.
They get big.
50 pounds.
That's sick.
I've seen.
That's sick. Can I see a better look at that?
Yeah, sure.
So whenever I lived down in Arkansas, they would do it
So
down.
you'll see her son too. Her
Below
son
the dam.
commented.
Oh, jeez, look at that.
Yeah,
Man, that's cool.
he's a cool.
Where do they catch these at?
I don't know. I forgot where they were at.
A lot of people do it in Kansas.
Yeah.
Arkansas.
Yeah, Arkansas,
Do
Kansas,
they put them back or they eat them?
the reservoirs.
Yo, they eat them.
Eat 'em.
She said
They
she
eat
brought all those back. And she's, I
Damn.
never tasted one. She said,
So
well,
they're an
Huge,
invasive
too.
species.
No, they're
No.
a very old prehistoric natural species.
How long do they take to
I
grow?
think their beak is called a rhombus. Is that right?
I have no idea.
It's all cartilage. They're all cartilage. They're like a sturgeon. Sturgeon don't have bones. They're all cartilage as well.
Oh,
It's
really?
It's
crazy.
like a shark. That's why they're they come from sharks. I don't think they do, but yeah.
They're a relative.
And they're in the Minnesota River.
her name.
Sharks can
Janelle
make it up here, though.
Caesar?
Janelle
Caesar?
Caesar?
They
I
can't.
can't.
Janelle
Further
Caesar?
north,
Yeah, because
It's Illinois.
like
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
We'll put these on the so that everybody else can see. Yeah. Yeah, she said she'd bring me some. So
I heard
Saying.
I know people that really don't like it. I know people that really like it. So I've never tried it.
I didn't ask her
Does it have like
if it was good or not, but
I want to keep I want to eat a shovel nose sturgeon. You can't keep them here, but you can keep them in pool 4.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you can keep them. There's a limit. I think it's 4. Could be wrong, but you can keep them. I want to cook one. I'm gonna do a catch and cook video and get striked on YouTube because they don't like those anymore. Apparently,
why?
Apparently not.
it's a big thing happening. They're shutting channels and
Channels
demonetizing people because they're doing catch and cooks, especially hunting channels now.
Oh, really?
It's bad.
Yeah.
Just because they're
A lot
like,
of people are gonna lose
there's
their
a fish.
Lose their livelihoods.
That's gonna be PETA and all that.
The worst part
It's not PETA, though.
they
That's the
say
problem.
it's against their terms of services, but when you read their terms of services, they posted it. So Flair is a big YouTuber from the Guggen Squad. He made a second channel just so he can put up hunting channels so he doesn't ruin his other channel. Hunting videos.
Yeah. Lunkers did the same thing.
They all are.
Lunkers did it.
But the fact that you're killing it and butchering it right there, is that the problem?
There's blood and butchering. When I do catch and cooks, I'm not filming cleaning them. It's gonna be here it is, and then the next cut's gonna be me prepping it to eat. Yep. That's the only safe way to do a catch and cook now.
I mean, you can't even do a tutorial video of how to fillet
It's
a
horrible.
fish.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Why can't you do a tutorial?
The thing is that the TOS, so YouTube has a lot of terms of services and ways you can get flagged and strikes against your channel. It actually says you can do certain things for hunting and trapping and fishing, but they're still striking people for it. There's going to be a class action lawsuit coming. I can feel it. Can't guarantee it. I haven't heard that. I think it's going to happen. There's going to be a class action lawsuit against YouTube from all these big content creators, the ones that have millions of dollars that can actually afford all those attorneys. It's going to happen because they're not breaking terms of service. It's kind of a
I don't
shame.
think that's right. I mean, if you're showing people getting their asses kicked, if you're seeing people getting shot, look at the shit they let. Shit.
Dude, look at the shit they let be on YouTube. But if you hunt and fish and clean an animal, you get striked.
How's that going to affect us, though? A small content creator.
I don't think it will. There's more eyes on them. That's my theory. I think they're really the one. Their livelihood depends on getting paid for those videos. For us, I mean, we're making videos and you're getting a little kick out of it, but
nothing.
That's their life.
Yeah.
And they've been doing it, and now they're getting in trouble for it. I don't know.
You can't just say, no, we're cutting this.
That's what they're doing. Sad.
Shit.
Yep.
That's ridiculous.
So that's why I started a YouTube channel.
Go check it out. Where's it at?
It's on YouTube.
Fish on Luke.
Fish on Luke.
Fish on Luke again.
Yeah.
Fish on Luke.
Jay Fish's Big Dick Lake.
I thought you guys were going to kiss there. You had a moment and you were staring at each
He's
other.
looking at me because he doesn't want to say something.
I know. I could say
I'm going to go fish Big Dick.
He's already got it.
I'm going to go fish Big Dick Lake just for him. Like this year.
And buy me a t-shirt.
Tag him in the post.
My friend Jay Fish Big Dick Lake.
I'm going to get it. We can put one of these signs up here.
No,
Picture of Jay next to the boat landing with the sign Big Dick Lake.
Dude, if there was a shirt that said I fish Big Dick Lake, it'd be huge.
Yeah.
I think
We're putting it out. If we're
going to blow that lake up, nobody's on.
Or Itasca County, they don't know what's coming for them now. Bunch of yahoos out there.
Should I host a tournament on it next year?
Let's do it. That would be fucking funny.
On Big Dick Lake?
Might as well. I mean, don't do that. Nobody wants to travel 4 hours.
What? So,
Is it 4 hours? It's up there, isn't
It's
it?
Itasca County, so it's up there a ways.
You know, we were talking about that lake you went where they had that nice size perch. Remember you made that YouTube video?
Yeah.
What lake was that
I'm
called?
not telling you what lake that was.
Tell me what lake it was.
Sweetie?
No,
One over here?
no, you went up like a ways.
I went up a ways and caught some decent perch last year.
What was the lake?
Come on now.
It's gonna come to me eventually.
You can't talk about that.
Red Lake.
I wasn't red.
Yeah,
It was a Red Lake?
I was up.
It's Red Lake.
Yeah, it's red. Say it was red.
Red Lake.
Yeah, it was red.
It wasn't Red Lake. Nothing.
Red's got great
Oh,
perch.
I can tell people where I kept my big perch. Because nobody will go there because it's so
I catch all my big perch in the metro.
I go to Idaho.
Catch something in the.
Go ahead and fish
Yeah,
it.
I want to go to Idaho. I've been
I
wanting
know.
to get out there for a long
On the
time.
metro?
I've actually heard that
10
one's
10
not
minutes
what
away
it
from
used to be.
It's
as well.
still good.
It's still
Perch?
good, but
The state record
Jumbos.
was caught last year.
Yeah.
I was there.
but
That day, I talked to the guy that caught it right before he broke the record.
Really?
Yeah, it was 3 pounds.
yeah, 3 pound perch.
Yeah, something like that. My biggest is 2.2.
I mean, they're not that big here, but
no,
No, dude,
they'll never get that
they're
big here.
freaking tanks
it's a
out
whole
there.
other class of fish.
So do you catch a lot of trout whenever you go out there too?
Yeah, you can if you really try.
'Cause
to.
I've read that there's a lot of trout out there, and it gets really slushy
Tons of
depending on the
rainbows
year.
and lots of slush.
Yeah.
Catch those
You
here.
know, I've never caught one ever.
Never caught a perch?
Never.
Really?
My dad used to catch them all the time when we go
10
down
minutes
to
from
Spring Lake.
Really?
I don't get how
Catch
you
them every year, dude.
Ever. One time we went to
Big
Spring,
crappies,
we went to
too.
Spring Lake.
18-inch crappies.
How big?
18s.
I don't believe it. Show me.
Ask Sobe.
You know the rules are. There's no pictures or video. It's
Ask
just a story.
Sobe. Ask Waldo.
Oh, the same like they got their big crappies?
Ask
I know,
Waldo.
I know where it is.
So do I.
Not very big.
No, it's not very big.
No. Let's not talk about
See
it.
what I mean? No.
Yep.
If any of you out there know these yahoos,
I've already
let us
said
know
it
what the hell
once.
think they're talking about.
Don't do it.
Post it in the comments. with the map.
There's certain things I will never do on YouTube.
And tell us how far away it is from
Show
Click
secret
Click.
If you guys watch my YouTube channels or my YouTube channel, you could probably get a rough idea, but I don't say the lake. I don't say the lake where I'm at, but
names on social
if
media.
if you do your research, you can find it. I'm not gonna tell you which lake it is.
There's
But
hunters out there that look for that.
Yeah,
which is fine.
which
I
is
do
fine.
my own
Do your research. Do your research.
on what lake I
I do
want
my
to fish.
research. How do you think I find my spot?
So that's what we do. You look at a map, you look at the DNR,
I
lake
told-
finder, and
I
see
told
what's
Sophie
in
to
them,
stop
and you
doing
go do it.
That's right.
I told Sophie to stop doing it
That's
because I called him on three different lakes that he was on. I was like, dude, stop doing that, bro.
Yeah.
I know you won't.
You know, there was a guy that contacted me.
You got mad at me
I
for
mean,
it.
he makes. I think he makes soft plastics. Nothing original. Just everyday molds. But he had a problem with one of the Coogan Squad guys. Said that he had told him where this lake was, and then he put it out there, and then it was.
That's happened to multiple different people.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's the thing with
I don't know
the
anybody from the.
That's the thing with
Squad,
the YouTube community takes a lot of heat for stuff like that, though. Because we do. We put a lot of content out there,
Yeah.
and a lot of people do recognize where we're at. And people do get mad at us for it. But what do you want us to do? There's nothing we can do about that.
Except not make videos. Or be better at hiding when you're fishing.
Yeah. I don't know, like whenever I'm out on the ice, I'm in my
I
fish
tur-
house regardless of how cold it is
I
anymore,
tur-
just because
I tournament fish a
people
lot.
swarm you.
I tournament fish a lot, and I like to on my tournaments. I like to say which lakes I'm at.
I mean, those are well known lakes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's a tournament.
It's different if I go to a backwater or a small
Yeah.
lake and
Yeah.
I'm not going to
Blow it up,
No,
I wouldn't.
No.
Lakes that can't sustain that kind of pressure, and then they just get piss pounded. Until
Yeah.
there's
Yeah, but
nothing left.
I don't know the whole story. I'm just going by what he said. He said, you know what? I'll tell you where this lake is, but don't put it out there. Make your video, but don't put it out there. And I saw the video that he mentions it. He's like, well, next time don't tell them. These guys are YouTubers. These guys put that out there. These guys want people to get out there. Coogan Squad. He's fishing with his baits, their baits. And he's going to the lake and catching fish. You don't think people are going to go out and buy those baits and go out there and fish that lake? You don't know they can catch them with that? Why would you tell them in the first place? But then he said a couple other things and kind of told me that, you just support them because they're from Minnesota. I'm like, I don't even know where they're from. Because when they brought out their baits, there was this big thing about how they took this from this bait that was already out there. They took this design from another bait. They copied this. They copied that.
It's not that they did that.
They didn't. I don't feel that they did.
So what happened is the designer from Six
You follow
Sense
me on that?
went to Google, and that's how they got those designs.
Yeah, there you go. But there hasn't been a lure that I've seen that anybody's brought out that I can't trace back to any lure made from the 40s and to the present.
The only new one I can think of,
Which one?
that the Googans, like, I forget the name of the company. What's that Uncut Angling and some of the Googan boys made an ice fishing company. What was it?
It's in Chicago, right?
Oh, you're talking about that spoon?
No.
The Dinner Bell.
The dinner belt? No.
Has
There's
that been around?
there's
Well,
another
'cause
one.
The
It
original
was called a flutter or something.
so
there was one. that-
Devil's Tongue was the original designer, but he designed that for them.
But there was,
Something like that.
But the other one that they had that brought out that way, they call it the flutter or something. And it's the same spoon and it does kind of the same action. And I remember that spoon back then because we were looking for that one. And I never found it. You have to go straight through that guy. He didn't have a website or anything. You had to contact him directly and then through mail.
Well, you can't be mad at people, man. The guys.
No, you can. Even me. Like the Bandido, that bait came from watching a pikey lure, a bandit, what was the other one that we used for that? I forgot what the other lure was. And we combine all those lures together and then get a compact with the metal lip. And then we wouldn't even sell these here. I had to sell them to California because they were too big here for bass. And over there with the swim culture and all that going on, we used to sell them. Back then, it wasn't classified as a swim culture, but a lot of people talked about it like it was a swim culture. And then somebody, Gus, from Fisher Light, named it the swim culture. I don't know if you know who Gus is. He's a tattoo artist and avid fisherman. He's one of the coolest guys. I never met him personally, but I've supported everything he does, even with autism. With autism, something he does every year. But he classifies as a swim culture, and everybody over there, California, Arizona, anything that's 8 inches up to 15 inches is for bass. It's not for musky or pike.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
So every time we would make these lures, they would go over to California, and that's how I started on that. And then I stopped making it, and then I made a smaller one with a metal lip. But the other lure that I was using to how kind of like make it whole was a striper lure, and the maker of that lure was from Montauk. I don't know if you guys heard of Montauk. I don't know if it's in New Jersey or New York. I don't know where that.
No clue.
But it's like if you search Montauk striper fishing on YouTube, you see a lot of videos, a lot of history of it, and that's what I used. And so I grabbed all these lure designs and made this one lure. Everybody does that.
Right.
So when they went after Googan, and I didn't get involved. I wasn't part of social media, none of that, because I was busy with what I was doing at the time. But I didn't feel that way about it. Right? Like the shatter bait. Yeah, they made a bait. They made a bait. There's been others before. I mean, you look behind me.
Yeah.
You know.
It's a nice female bullhead.
And it's a plastic blade, but then somebody else came out. I can't remember the name of the company came out with a plastic blade, or a bladed blade, shatter bladed, a plastic blade, and then it's like, oh, they revolutionized it. They did plastic. It's been done too. Just
That's more like a whopper plopper.
That's cool.
So that's what and that's what I got so into these old lures, and I don't collect them. I buy them to see how they work, and I see what I can take from that. And next year, what we're going to bring out, we'll bring back the bandido. We already discussed the bandido. I don't know if we're bringing back the jig and minnow. That was once made by False Baits. I still need to contact some people, but we got all the molds for all that. We got the molds for the flicker shad. We got the molds for the mouses. We got everything that had to do with Fall Baits. And then we are going to bring out the faggot spinner baits next year. I haven't made one of those in 5 years. We found those molds. We didn't even know what it was. I had to cast it for me to remember what it was because it wasn't legal.
Right.
But that would have been a good one for their pike tournament. But yeah, so I didn't feel that way about Googan. I followed some of the guys individually. Never really looked at their Googan channel where they're all together. I see it come up sometimes on YouTube. I never really watched their videos.
I haven't either.
I don't feel that they stole anything from anyone.
Everybody
takes from everyone.
That's right.
No.
Everybody takes from everyone. In the lure business, you can't come out. I haven't seen anybody in the past 20 years that I've been involved with custom bait building, seen anybody come out with something different that you can say definitely 100% his brand.
Nobody has.
There's always
I'm not saying that's not out there.
And what it came down to, I think Milliken Fishing did it, was he cut the baits in half and did a side-by-side comparison. And the baits were identical. Like, the insides were 100% identical. And the reason that is because, like I mentioned earlier, the designer went over to Googan from 6 Cents. And that's how they got that design.
I didn't know that. It's the first time I heard about that. But it makes sense.
No.
Right? It makes a lot of sense. Look at the Whopper Plopper. Larry Galber made that video, had that lure in his house somewhere stored away, came out with his Whopper Plopper, and he made the video, And then I think River to Sea picked up on it, and then it comes a wild popper, and then it comes all the different sizes. But there's always been a whopper popper, not the way that Larry designed it, because he made that the prop out of rubber, so now it's never going to move out of position. That's an idea that you can say that's 100% him,
Right.
not the function of it,
Right.
but 100% him. That he thought about making out of rubber, so now you don't have to be messing with it. You know, because that's one of the things that, you know, you still see musky baits out there with the middle tail,
Yeah.
or the fin, or the propeller, whatever you want to call it. And you see them adjusting it all the time. And the difference that I see is if you want to adjust it to make a different sound, then the middle fin is your deal. If you don't want to be messing with it, get the whopper blocker, and you never have to tune it. I'll always work the same way, always. But there's the guys that I've met a lot of musky fishermen that tell me I like the whopper popper, but I also like to get the Lee Lures. I think makes one. I don't know. There's some other companies that make them, and they like tinkering with it because it changes the sound. And sometimes when you do that change, you get something. You get a bite.
Well, it's something they're not.
We're on that subject. So I came across this website the other day, and they were promoting their top waters, and their bait that they were promoting was their double bladed bait. What's the bait that goes across top of the water?
The buzz bait.
Their double bladed buzz bait. They're like, this is the first. They were like, this is the first revolutionary buzz bait on the market. And when I called them out, I was like, you know what? My buddy's been making those for like 20 years. Like. And Chewy's the first one that showed me that.
That pretty much would save us when we went to the sportsman show, because we were reintroducing it, and we changed the name, and it totally just didn't help us. But everybody that came up to the booth, that's all they bought was double bladed, because they haven't seen it in so long.
The double bladed buzz baits.
And that's not awesome, even our design. It's just a regular buzz, double arm buzz. But the one that we designed, that's the other mold that we found that we're tinkering with, but. That double buzz it's not for all situations. It's not always going to work. You need to learn when and where to throw it, but it will save a fishing trip. Like any other lure. I said when some guys, I'm going to go to Tonga. What lure should I take? As many as you can, brother. And just separate them from AM to PM, and in between what you're going to throw, what you're going to target. Because every lure, there's always a lure. If you go out there with just spinner baits, and they're all the same color, or close to the same color, and you don't catch nothing, then they come back and say, these spinner baits suck.
Did you try every color?
Try every color. How many colors do you have in your arsenal?
And how good are you at fishing?
Yeah, how good are you at fishing? How good are you understanding the water?
How fast are you retrieving? How fast? Everything. There's a lot of questions.
We did that buzz frog, and the buzz is a two-part buzz, and it cranks as it turns. It's a quad buzz at the end of it. But I made it. We went out. Me and Rico went out to Tonka. I casted it. Three cast in, and we caught a bass. We put it away. I said, all right, we're good. What are we going to work on it? Well, nothing right now. I just wanted to see how it ran in the water. But as soon as I saw a fish strike it, I was like, okay, we're good with this one. We'll tinker with it later. And so far right now, all I do is I'll go down to the river and I'll cast it and mess with it and see what I got to change. But next year, we're not going to put that one out. Next year, what we're going to do is we're going to fish the shit out of it, and then probably the following year we'll put it out.
Right.
That's what I tell a lot of guys, that when we make spinner baits, we will put that color out. And we used to do this before, now we're doing it again. If we can't catch 100 bass on that color spinner bait, we're not going to put it out. And I'm not saying we're only casting that bait in Minnesota. Now we haven't used Chance Lopez yet, but we got another guy from Texas that lives near Lakeport. So he's another guy that's going to test it. And we got a couple of friends from Arizona. I got a couple of guys in California that test these lures. And we send these spinner baits out there. Same color, same everything. Sometimes I work over there, sometimes I work over here. And we just keep tracking. Once we catch 100 bass, then we'll say, okay, well, I'm going to bring the spinner bait out. This is the color we're going to put on it. What should we change, or what do you think we should do? And they'll say, don't do nothing with it, leave it how it is. Or some guys will say, well, I added a little bit of red and it made a difference. And that's how we come up with this stuff. I can't be out there in the water all the time.
Lure design.
Yeah, lure design. It's
always an uphill battle.
Yeah, so sometimes when I hear complaints about, well, why are these lava poppers? What do they cost $20? Well, think about it, bro. I mean, they're made in China. Don't matter.
They were still made at one point,
They were being here, and there's a lot of time that we took into that, and we're not. No one's gonna make lures and sell them to you for 99 cents, even if they're made in China. You didn't bust your ass like these guys did. You were not the water. Like what I tell Scott, when I go out in the water and I'm going out with my lures, and I did that quite a few times this summer, I'm really not fishing. I'm testing these lures, and I'm making note of everything. And you can see my log. My last date on my log was 2014 sometime, and this year I got 4 new pages, four filled out pages. So we got that gap between them from the last time I did it till now that I'm back into it. And I'm reading that log and I'm thinking, Jesus, what the hell? Maybe this, and right there I can read that history and say, yeah, maybe this isn't the lure. Maybe I'm just wasting my time with this because it's giving me it's not giving me what I want from it. Like the dumb lure.
I like that
on
one.
that stupid lure. 10 years, and people see it and they say, well, why did they continue to do this? Well, there's a lot of mechanics that go into it, as simple as it is. It's a soft plastic lure, but there's a lot of mechanics.
Is it one of yours?
One
Yep.
of ours, yeah.
Where's that
In the safety box somewhere.
at? You haven't put it out?
No, he's not.
You gonna?
I have used them, and
That's the lure. That's the mold that went down
they
to the
kick
river.
ass.
Those are the ones that went down the river.
Mm.
Yeah. And then we're working on one that's going to last longer. It's made out of a type of rubber that's going to be a little longer lasting because these
is that
guys.
Senkos?
Yeah. No, the Senko thing is the patent. We got the patent pending.
That's a badass Senko, dude.
The patent pending is there, and
I would run nothing but those.
we'll see what's up with that.
Those-
But yeah, we still have to go through all the other patents that are already on it. They use there's I forgot what that other patent was called. The one that we had to fill out. I think it was the not the design, but what makes it function, I guess. I forgot.
The mechanic?
Mechanic. Yeah, the mechanic. You can say that too. I forgot what the official or the correct term for that is. But yeah, and we'll see next year. But yeah, going back to Guggen Squad, I did not feel that way.
I mean,
And now that you say that, it makes a lot of sense to me. So I don't know what that was.
and to be quite fair, anybody would have did that. If any fisherman in the industry had the opportunity, they would have done it.
Like when the people that we did tell about this lure, we made them sign. You can talk about this fucking lure for 2 years. Because in 2 years, when you talk about this lure, the fucking design is going to change so much that they didn't even give them that. If they try to copy what was 2 years ago, it's not going to function like what we have right now. Yeah. But you don't fish with lures, though.
Mm-hmm.
Do you really?
No.
Oh, yeah, you told me you meet jigs, though.
Yeah. And yes, if I fish with lures?
Yeah.
Oh, a ton.
Did you? I thought you were just straight river. Yeah, really?
Yeah, like
Oh.
on lakes I use a lot of.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you go for walleyes too, don't you?
Oh yeah, a lot.
yeah.
So you use a lot
He's
of
a big
jigs.
walleye guy.
Lots of jigs and plastics. So I melt my own. I make
Yeah,
my
you're
own
talking
color.
about that.
And I lose a lot of the
We're
river.
gonna stock those jigs.
I better get more lead.
Don't worry about that.
Only got 80 pounds. Only got 80 pounds left probably. You gotta remember I make sinkers up to 20 ounces too, so it goes by quick.
Yeah, we'll be picking up some of that here soon. When I take my trip down to Texas.
There you go.
We'll have to talk about that.
There's only so much you can bring back though. Heavy. Some heavy shit.
The trailer.
Kind of probably as heavy as big dick big.
You just need to go to the scrapyard and buy a fucking bundle of fucking tin cans.
For what?
Aluminum.
What are you gonna do with that?
Not making aluminum fucking weights.
Aluminum weights?
Yeah.
You pretend you didn't say that.
It's big enough, 2 ounces.
It's one of the lightest metals you can get.
2 ounces is 2 ounces.
It'd also be the size of your hand.
Yeah.
Aluminum?
Get a
What?
fucking tie a
Probably-
baseball on.
probably-
Alright, I'm gonna
2 ounce weight, aluminum would probably float.
Tungsten.
Tungsten.
You
That's
know,
what you wanted to say.
there ain't no person. There ain't no
Tungsten.
person in this planet that's going to be melting tungsten that in their own house.
No.
You have to get it so hot. It's like 20 times hotter than you want.
I've been to the ice show and I've asked them, do you guys make these jigs yourself? Do you guys
Oh man.
cast them? And they're like, yeah, we cast them ourselves.
Yeah,
I'm like,
right.
Jesus Christ, bro. But then you go down
Not
the
only
road,
that,
and they're all the same design, they're all the same hooks, and you know.
it gets so brittle from the heating and cooling. If you don't do it right, I mean, it's just,
Well, those hooks are soldered on there. They're not
yeah.
encased in the tungsten.
No.
No.
It's
It's
cold
still
when they
brittle.
put it on there.
It's
Actually,
still brittle
right.
itself sometimes. Like, I've had them
not
snap.
Swagger's here in Minnesota. What's the other big company that everybody's pro stat for?
I don't
Are you talking
know.
a jig company?
No, they just started making tungsten. Wow, weights here.
I don't know. Clue.
No
It's the
idea.
first company in the U.S. to melt.
Um,
It's the first company in the U.S. to be able to melt tungsten.
I have no
who?
idea.
No. What's it called? Hold on.
Wu Tungsten.
Oh, yeah.
Wu Tungsten's the only company in
It's
the.
made here.
They're the only company that can
It's
manufacture
quite the
tungsten.
process.
That's new to
Tungsten.
me.
They just started it.
Yeah, I think I have like 12 molds.
I have heard of a lot
I do a
of
bunch of different like jig head styles and
Yeah.
weights.
Do it.
ball jigs or what?
What's that?
Like more ball jigs
I
or.
have some ball jigs. I got some minnow head jigs. I got some
I'm tired of buying
swim bait
weights.
jigs. I got up to 4-ounce jig heads for like
Yeah.
ocean and like
Yeah.
someone out there.
Yeah. No, they do that.
Yeah,
They're
they
just
want
probably
that.
curious because it's yellow spotlight.
You nervous?
No.
Make sure they're not starting to use drone out there.
The drone's in my
Don't worry
car.
about it. Oh, the creepy little white girl.
I have drones in my car.
Did you put in the car?
Yeah,
Okay, very good. Very good. Yeah. No, she was just saying hi. Wherever it was. Hey.
She was an older chick.
I like
Yeah.
Take it with Luke and head over the big dick lick.
that.
I added a lot of shit out of this video.
I'm not in shit.
I gotta go get some of my jigs before I leave and show you.
You should.
Some in my
You're not editing it.
No, what would I do that?
Fuck
It's
no,
it's
we're
an
not.
official fucking lake. It's called Big Dick Lake in
Itasca County.
Itasca County.
Itasca?
It's the real deal.
Yeah. I'm making t-shirts. I'm telling you, I'm making t-shirts. And I'll say I heart big dick, and then I'll put lake really small.
That's funny.
And then they say, Jay, you like
These guys, man, I'm
And
telling
you're
you,
like, no,
something
no,
else.
no, lake. It says right there. Look,
Then you need a picture of the lake.
right here on that size 10 font.
They need a picture of the lake for reference.
You know what? We didn't look at the shape of the lake. I wonder why it's called Big Dick Lake.
I would imagine it's privately owned and someone named it that. There's some interesting lake names that go way back in this state.
A lot of private lakes.
There's a lot.
It's located within Chippewa
Chippewa Forest, right?
National Forest. Yeah,
So it's in the state forest.
256.2 acres.
It's a pretty decent sized lake.
Yeah,
100%.
Lake I grew up on was 80 acres. Small.
there's not much on other than that though. That's all. That's all the
And there's
information.
no access. You probably have to hike to it to get on
Oh,
the big.
definitely.
Well, you gotta walk to get to the big dick. I don't think you can drive there, so I won't be going there.
Just gotta hike through the woods.
Let's see.
That's some fishing more, and
Hey, sometimes that
Have
shit
deal with
pays
it
off.
Yep,
that's what them guys are into.
That shit pays off sometimes, though.
What's that?
I agree. I did like
Going, putting in the work like
But
that,
I-
man.
50 miles 2 years ago. I had the best ice fishing of my life.
Oh, I
Did you
believe
really?
it.
Rat?
Around.
Gee, we're not naming big spots here.
I can talk to you off podcast.
This is bullshit.
No, it's just because
Think about the community.
I'm thinking about it, and I already still decided not to talk about it. Don't worry, guys. I still love the community. Does that remind you of something?
I love the catfish community. I proved it this year. I still don't know how I feel about the bluegill. Grab support.
I'm supportive as hell.
I think I proved it.
You have a lot of cool signs. Favorite is, what do you think my favorite is?
I just want you to know that
Pendejos.
Yeah, that's Scotty straight line from
That
Teacher
bass.
Sean.
That bass is dead as hell.
Oh, that's a record bass.
That's dead as hell.
That's a record bass. And I have a picture of
For
it.
where?
I don't remember the
he's
year,
not-
but
He's
yeah.
not real preserved, is he?
Well,
No,
he
it's
froze
pretty
it.
It's a little dry.
He's pretty dead.
Like back in here.
Well, he froze it. I don't know. I forgot the name.
He froze that fish a few times.
Yep, that's the record bass.
It's a big one though.
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
fat,
we got
fat slob, dude.
the OCC, Old Carver River Rats, the coolest lures,
Blind podcast.
Blindcast podcast.
I gotta get you one of those vinyls for your.
Oh yeah.
That-
just came out.
The one I gave in the back of your,
What is
your
it?
back window.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Fucking sick, dude.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
My artist from Canada did that.
Oh yeah.
He did our other design for Northwoods as well. He's real talented.
Looks
Yeah.
like it.
He does any species. He's good at all of them.
I
That was
need,
his first flathead, or no, it wasn't his first flathead. You know, Mud. Not Mud, what's that company that used to do skeleton fish shirts? You know, you remember
Yeah, I
them?
know what you're talking about, but
Fish Bum.
yep.
He was there. He did them.
Oh yeah, that was his
Yeah.
assignment. Really?
He's amazing.
I did some of my own stuff. There's my hair kitty.
I like that.
My stoked. That actually happened to me.
I hate that.
That
It
actually
hurts.
happened to me.
Had some bad experiences with hooks in my hand.
it hurts.
That's what we did. I was like, and then I raised my
It
hand like that and
hurts.
I took a picture.
I had a 3 treble crankbait, and I had a treble in each of my 3 fingers.
Oh, dude.
Nice.
And I just gritted and started ripping them out because I was like, I am not doing
I
that.
did win this. When I was at the last year when I was at the Chakotay, there was a kid in the kayak and his mom. I think his mom was with them in another kayak, and he got the lure stuck on the tree, and he was yanking on it, and it came flying right in his face, and I hooked it right in the eyebrow, and the hook was like right here, and she was like, "What do I do?" I said, "Take it to the hospital." I says, "Because I can't even help you pull that out." I said, "The only way I can pull it out is I have to run it through and cut it. And I'd rather not do that."
Yeah, that's
So
a sketchy spot.
Yeah.
so you probably need to take. So what I did do is I did have what's that athletics tape. I had bought it for my rod, and I put it over his eye. Put I think Kleenex or a napkin that I found in the truck and put it out under his eye so that the hook would be laid on the outside because he was like this all the time. And that's one of the things that I always tell parents, and even when we do safety talks, I always tell them, when you're in the summer, make them wear, or don't make them wear, I guess, but
Encourage.
encourage them to wear sunglasses. Because if you see so many of those injuries, and even on Facebook, have you seen those injuries? Like,
Or in eyeballs.
I can't look at them anymore.
There's-
I'm like, God damn,
wear
man.
sunglasses, man.
Yeah.
Your eyes, you get hooked in the nose, whatever. That's gonna you get hooked in the eye.
You're done.
That's it. I'm gonna grow back, man.
Right?
No.
So just parents, please encourage your kids,
To wear
even your
sunglasses.
teenage kids, even your husbands, for God's sake, wear your sunglasses.
That and a life jacket.
With a life jacket, yeah.
Make sure you take them out before you go to the gas station. Don't be that guy.
Are you that guy?
What?
What did Luke say then?
What?
Wear sunglasses in the gas station?
I didn't say. He said that.
You wear your life
Oh, that was
jacket
the
in
first
the
day?
gas
Well,
station?
you looked at Jason, I was like, you wear your
No,
glasses.
that wasn't towards Jay.
I don't know. Sometimes I forget I'm wearing them.
Sometimes I wear them in and then I sit there and I'm like, I can't be that guy. I take them off. I was like,
Yeah, no, I can't.
Sometimes I forget I'm wearing them.
I know. I do too.
No. And you forget your word.
Seriously, dude.
For real?
Yeah.
I walk in somewhere and I can't see it.
I wear my sunglasses 90% of the time.
Wait, yeah, the
Really?
sun really got to your eyes.
Yeah,
You should wear them more.
kind of red.
Hey, those are you got Chinese eyes over there. Look at him.
Well, anyway, guys,
I wake up early.
well, anyways, Luke, thank you for joining us today. We appreciate having you,
That was
brother.
awesome.
Jay, thank you. Nice seeing you as always, Scotty.
Yep.
My right man.
No
My
love.
right hand man.
No, your left though.
Left
No
hand
love.
man. Anyways, thank you guys. And Luke, where can they find you?
You can find me Fish on Luke on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Northwoods Angling on YouTube.
Yeah, we'll add that on too. And
J Fish is on everything.
Thank you
From Nancy
guys.
Quinn.
Thank you guys for listening to another episode of Blindcast.